Greetings, travelers! My name is King Asmodeus, and I am back with another Hearthstone video. But, as you can see, we're doing things a little differently today. So, this is round 1 of a competition I was kinda sorta recently in. These videos are going to be a little bit different than normal. The recording and the audio recording are done 2 separate times, so I'm watching this back and going to be commentating on it in post. And also using a different device than I usually use. That's why, if the audio sounds a little different than normal, that's why. So what I'll be doing for these is kind of just commentating on what happened during this game, and since I'll be looking at it with some fresh eyes, I might not remember things right away. And what I'll do is in between time, like if I don't have anything to say, I'll probably just speed up the clip a little bit. That way it's not too long of a video. Let me know if you all think that's a good idea and if you like that. If not, I won't do that in future videos, but we'll just test that out for now. So yeah, so here's how these competitions work. So there's, in the this one, there were 6 total rounds, and you try to get best 3 out of 5 in each round against the person you're paired up with. And it's done in a style where like there's no elimination, so you play like all 6 rounds. So this will be round 1, and there'll be at least 3 games, at most 5 games per round. So right now I am playing as a mage against a hunter deck here. So yeah, that's basically, I can't think of what else to really say to explain it. These videos, as you may have seen in some of the recent videos, aren't going to be quite uploaded in the right chronological order. There's reasoning behind that. It's weird to explain, but yeah, some of these videos you might see decks that I haven't yet played on the channel, so a little sneak peek for you there. So right now it looks like what I'm doing is I'm trying to just get myself a little bit more set up on the board. I had a taunt minion before, but now I'm just trying to get a little bit of face damage here. And yeah, I think what the idea is, I'm hoping to get enough powerful spells out so that way I can go with like the Grey Sage Parrot and Magister Dawn Grasp, and then kind of just go that way and hit them really hard with a lot of things. But they seem to have a lot more of the Wild Seed based hunter, at least for a little bit. So right here I get Frozen Touch. It's honestly one of my favorite spells. So yeah, if something comes up that I think of to narrate over that I think is really cool, I want to draw attention to, I'll go ahead and do that. Otherwise I'll have some of this sped up. And yeah, so for now we'll just take it away. And I guess I should note one other thing. For some odd reason, I can't hear the audio of the video as I'm watching it back while I'm also recording audio. I think it's something with my softwares that I have on my computer, but we'll just see how it goes. So I hope everyone enjoys. Stay tuned. I'll put out rounds 2, 3, 4, and 5 out in the future. Spoiler alert, there's no round 6. I didn't get to play round 6 because there's an odd number of people and there's no one to pair me with. So yeah, that's about all I can think of for right now. So I'll let the video play and I'll shut up for a little bit.
What is it? What is it?
So, that actually wasn't too long of a gap. As you can see here, I'm kind of struggling to get some spells in my hand. That was what I was hoping to achieve at least, so now I'm kind of just at a loss for what exactly I want to do. And they also have a pretty, I guess, stacked up side of the board. They had that one weapon before that would let them dredge and pull things to the top of their deck. And putting out the peasants is a really neat idea, I think, because then it allows them to get those cards like almost immediately. So yeah, I threw out this taunt minion here to kind of try and balance out what's going on since they have so many minions, but as you can see, it didn't last very long. And now they have a second taunt minion on the board. At this point, I'm kind of starting to lose a little bit of board control, if you could say starting to. Honestly, I did lose it a while ago. And honestly, I'm at a bit of a loss trying to figure out what I want to do, because I'm hoping to get like some good spells in my hand, like Flame Strike, or what's another one I have? Even like the Arcanist Overflow, but I'm just not getting any of them. I'm getting all like the lower rank spells, so I guess that's partially on me for how I built this deck. I built it with a Prince Renethal, so it's going to be more cards, which makes it more diluted. At least right here I'm able to get the Infuse and the Armor up, but they now have a Rat King, which is a really neat card I've seen people play. Basically, if you kill it, it just gets resummoned after a couple turns. It goes dormant and it'll come back. So yeah. See, I finally get the rune of the yeah, Archmage is what it is, because yeah, it's Archbishop, but Archangel. Right. I went over this in one of my videos, how that prefix works, but luckily it actually kind of saved me a little bit here, but oh, okay, so I do get a Blizzard, but still not quite enough, I don't think. I only have 6 health at the moment, and things aren't looking too good for me for this round, or at least this game in this round. And yes, as you can see, the classic King Crush, it didn't pop in there for a moment for some reason, but I love having King Crush and Hunter decks. And so yeah, that's basically it for this game already. So for this game, I decided to give my Paladin deck a try. Basically, a little bit more detail how the competition works. Once you win with a deck in a given round, you can't use it again, so they won't be able to use their Hunter anymore. However, I can still use the Mage deck that I played in the last game. You submit 4 decks that you're going to be using, and then for each round, each person gets 1 ban. So I ban one of their 4 and they can't use it against me, and then they ban one of my 4. So right now I'm looking to get a little bit of a better footing to start with this, so I decided to keep the 2 1-mana cost cards that I have for this sacrifice-based Paladin, and I'm glad to have gotten the Soldier's Caravan because that's always a good one. So they're playing against a Druid, which sometimes I've had trouble with playing Druid in the past, playing against Druid, because what I've noticed is a lot of people like to do, I think it's called Ramp Druid, where you basically just ramp up how much mana you have. So you basically end up with like 20 mana, they basically end up with 20 mana crystals while you're still like at like 6, and it's just completely insane. So right here is something I like to do now that I have both of those secrets, Noble Defender and Avenge. I like to play them both at the same time, because especially if I already have a minion on the board. Because that way, as soon as they go to attack, it'll hit the Noble Defender, and then because a minion of mine died, I'll get the buff from Avenge. So I think it's a pretty good combo to play.
To battle! To battle! Reporting for duty. To the front line! The battle!
So it seemed like for a bit of a moment here, my opponent had indecision as to what card exactly they wanted to play. But then, but then, there we go. So they played Spammy Arcanist, which, honestly, that was a great idea to play that. Because that basically just wiped out most of my Silver Hand recruits. What they might not have known is that I had an Infused card in my hand, so in a way, that kind of helped me out too. But honestly, if they wouldn't have done that when they did, I could have easily used the Invigorating Sermon and just buffed everything I had on the board and really hammered away at their health.
Let's get it! Reporting for duty. To the front lines! Get down! Job done.
So yeah, you can kind of get the sense that they are indeed trying to ramp up how many mana crystals they have. They just played Jerry Red Carpenter, which is a really neat spell, and were able to gain 2 more mana crystals. So as you can see, I'm at 6, they're at 9 right now, so I wasn't completely predicting the future for this game whenever I said I'd be at 6 and they'd be at like 20, but they're very much making their way up. And it can be very frustrating because it's almost as if they get like 2 entire turns in a row, kind of, without all the attacking stuff.
The Seed Lord be its own treasure. The time has come to dethrone our former master.
So at this point, they've already played both of their spammy Arcanists, so I kind of am banking on the fact that they don't have any other like attack AoE attacks, attack all enemies. So I decided might as well go for both of the Invigorating Sermons here and buff up my Silver Hand recruits. Sure, I lose a lot of them destroying their minions, but now they don't really have anything on the board. I still have a pretty formidable force. Right now I'm up to, let's see, that'd be 15 total damage. However, they play Insatiable Devourer, which is honestly the bane of my existence sometimes. But I counter by setting its attack and health to 1, and giving its stats to, luckily, the dragon that's in my hand that I'll soon be able to play. So things are looking pretty good for me so far. I end this turn with a decent bit of minions on the board, 2 of them with Divine Shield, so they can't even take damage right away. And they go counter with Raid Boss Onyxia, which that one's a fun one to play, but it is not a taunt minion or anything like that. So, and they killed, I was surprised to see that they killed all their whelps. Personally, I probably would have left at least 1 or 2 alive, because now I'm able to deal that 8 damage to Onyxia. I have a 25-23 on the board and they have nothing. So at this point, I'm feeling a little bit more confident in my own skill and abilities, especially after losing last game, being so like scatterbrained and whatnot. So we'll go ahead and see how this plays out from here.
You failed.
Death is not my goal!
So at this point, I'm kind of debating on what exactly I want to do. On one hand, I could put out my taunt and make that a bit of a distraction, but then they'd be able to heal with their Sardonathrius. But then if I play my Sardonathrius, which I'm going to do now, I might get lucky and deal enough damage to their hero that I can claim this as a victory for myself. The other alternative would have been to do the Great Haul and set Denathrius' health and attack to 3, but I'm glad I went with the choice I did. So for the next game, I decided I wasn't quite happy with how I did with my mage deck in the first game, and I really wanted to try it again and hopefully try to do better this time around, so I decided to go with it. And as we can see, we're playing as a priest. So I'm not the best at playing against priest. So at this point, I'm already a little worried. So I decided I'd throw back the Grey Sage Parrot since it's a higher mana cost. I was hoping for Babbling Spellbook, but sadly, or the Shivering Sorceress, I think is what it's called. But alas, I get Vulpera Scoundrel. Not the worst, but it wasn't quite what I was hoping for. So we will see how this game plays out, and hopefully we'll be able to pull something off here and actually not make a fool of myself again with my mage deck, because honestly, I love this mage deck, but sometimes I really just need to go through and get rid of the spells, some of the spells that are in it. And this is what confused me a little bit. I'm not quite sure why they healed me with their hero power. My guess is that they might have had like a card in their hand or deck that if they healed so much health, then they could use it later. So we'll look out for that later on as I rewatch this. Unless they're just goofing around, who really knows? But yeah, we'll see where we go from here.
The Queen's trove is forbidden.
Sorry, Squishy, I'm working.
And it was at this very point that I became just a bit more worried, because it seems like they're playing a Naga-themed priest, and one of the cards that they have is Serpent Wig, which they can replay that a lot of times. I believe if you play a Naga and then play that, you get another copy in your hand, and it buffs your minions. So already seeing that, I'm already a little worried here. But hey, who knows? I've made pretty good comebacks before, so let's keep on watching and see where I end up.
Trove is forbidden!
Who here can spell Zinjari? Anybody?
Tell me, Minnow, have you done as I asked? Pick me! Pick me! The Queen's trove is forbidden!
As soon as I saw them use that bless spell on that minion, I was just... my heart completely sunk. But I really would love to make a deck very similar to this because it seems like it's very effective at being a quick aggro deck. You just set up, buff your minion real fast, and then just hammer away so quickly. Honestly, I'm at a complete loss for what to do because in total they can deal, what is that, 46 damage if I can count correctly. I only have 36 health, well, 30 health and 6 armor. So it's like, at this point, what do I even do? So as a desperation play, I thought I was going to do the Battling Spellbook, but it looks like I'm considering Flame Strike. Yeah, as a desperation play, I go ahead and Flame Strike. And yeah, honestly, I personally, looking back on this, I should have went for the Battling Spellbook, because then I could have had a slight chance of getting something good. But yeah, just like that, this game is over. So it was a pretty quick one, that's for sure. So at this point, even though I could have played my mage deck again, I decided I just didn't want the disappointment. So I went with my hunter deck this time. So that was the other deck, the third deck that I entered in this competition with. So I'll have to wait till the next video to see what the fourth one was. Ooh. So I, of course, want to throw this mothership back. I want minions that I could play early, but alas, I get a Savannah High main, which you can't really play that early. But we're going against a druid, it seems. They're a druid that I beat before, so it's going to be some familiar cards. So I'm kind of hoping that since I'm a little familiar with their deck, I might be able to pull off a win again. But we shall see how things go.
The Sea Floor be its own treasure.
What a delicious party! You gotta be scrappy with scraps. Just a taste.
The exit is this way!
Who knows what secrets we'll uncover?
Dead end!
So now at this point, I'm deciding whether I want to try destroying a random enemy minion or not, because if I get lucky, I could destroy their taunt minion and the legendary minion they have that makes battle cries trigger twice. But if I'm unlucky, it would do the Jared Carpenter. So I decided it'd be better to go with my one Frenzy minion and just play it a little safer. And as we can see here, yes, this is indeed if it is a ramp druid deck, where they can have their maximum mana be 20. So that can be pretty scary. So I'm able to take advantage of the Frenzy here by attacking that one taunt minion, and am able to make short work of their legendary minion with the battle cries. So I'm glad I decided to save that spell, and I'm actually, there we go, I was gonna say I'm actually able to put out another minion too and get a second one basically for free. And deal 2 damage just for posterity's sake.
bite too.
Dead end!
Let's win!
And again.
Make this look easy.
There we go. Spammy Arcanist comes in clutch for them, basically clears the rest of my side of the board that the Whelps were not able to, and now I'm down to just one minion. I definitely want to look into Spammy Arcanist. I believe it looked to be a like a standard minion, like a regular, like non-class related minion. So if that's the case, I might try to incorporate that into my mage deck, as well as cut down some cards in my mage deck, but that's a story for another day. Ugh, this one, Theotar the Mad Duke, is a very strange card, but I think they got pretty good use out of it, if I do recall correctly. Yes, because they were able to steal my mothership. I was planning on using that next turn, so I was a little upset to see that go, and now they're able to even play it against me and buff it at the same time, basically decimating my taunt minion and getting 2 minions out of it. And I was hoping that I would have gotten this Stonebound Gorgon earlier, since I've had a lot of minions die already, but I wasn't about to complain by getting it now.
Let's win!
And it actually did serve me quite well that I got it now through a bit of using the tracking spell and getting a rush minion. I was able to throw it out on the board and clear their side pretty quickly, leaving myself with at least one taunt minion and the Stonebound Gorgon still there. So, hey, sometimes the cards you want at the beginning, you really need them later on. But then sometimes the cards you get later on, you really need at the beginning. So, it goes both ways. And as we can see, they keep drawing cards and have increased their mana crystals a significant amount. So at this point, I'm very worried to see what they're going to do next.
Just resting my eyes.
My God!
Careful, they bite.
This must be the way.
So at this point, they use Due Process, which basically gives us one extra card that we draw at the beginning of a turn, and then they use it a second time. So we'd be basically drawing 3 cards at the start of every turn, which for me, that probably wasn't the worst thing, since I only had 3, and one of them was the coin. Sadly, they took my one card there that I was hoping to use. But now it's possible that they might start burning some of their cards if they don't use them, so in a way it hurts them just as much as it helps them. So there we go, 1 card, 2 card, 3 card, but what they did was pretty clever. Their 1 minion at the end there basically makes it so any card that I draw costs 1 more mana than it usually does. So I basically have increased cost of the 3 cards I just drew, which is not the most fun.
The time has come to dethrone our former master. Just resting my eyes. The sea floor be its own treasure.
From the smallest sea.
All it takes is love, care, and death.
From the smallest sea.
What?
So as we've seen, it kind of just wiped my side of the board again, but what confused me at first is that they did spammy Arcanist, and I was wondering why they would do that and just destroy so many of their minions, but now we see that by casting spells they get 3/3 minions, which are arguably better than 2 1s. So basically they sacrificed all of those other minions just so that way they can get more powerful ones almost immediately and have them basically ready for next round.
Here you go. Escape an ambush.
Only. Hey! Where'd my deck go?
So as we can see here, they are now out of cards, which means that they'll start taking fatigue damage, and it's possible that I could pull something out of it as long as they don't have too many crazy cards in their hand, but they do have 10 mana left out of 20, and there they go with their Sire Denathrius, completely obliterating me, as is often the case with Sire Denathrius. So GG to the person I played against. I had a lot of fun this round, and I hope that everyone enjoyed this video. I know it was a little different. Let me know what you think. Leave a like if you did enjoy it, comment down below, and if you're new, feel free to subscribe and turn on notifications if you'd like to be notified when I post more videos. And with that, I'll catch everyone in the next video. I appreciate your time and attention, and I appreciate you for being here. Thanks for watching.